Imagine walking into a room full of strangers. Before you even say your name, before you shake a single hand, before anyone knows your personality, someone has already decided whether you seem confident, trustworthy, intelligent, or even successful. It sounds unfair, but it's something every human brain does automatically. The surprising part, many psychologists now believe these first impressions begin forming almost instantly, sometimes in less than a second, and then continue to develop over the next several seconds as we notice more details. So why does your brain judge people so quickly? And more importantly, can you actually control the impression you leave on others? Let's find out. Your brain loves shortcuts. Imagine you're walking alone at night. A stranger suddenly appears from around the corner. Would you stop and spend 5 minutes analyzing whether they're dangerous? Probably not. Your brain makes a split-second decision. Safe, unsafe, friendly, threatening. For thousands of years, making quick judgments helped our ancestors survive. Those who reacted quickly often survived longer than those who hesitated. Today, we're no longer running from wild animals, but our brains still use the same shortcut system. Instead of asking, "Will this person attack me?" our brain now asks, "Can I trust this person? Do they seem confident? Are they friendly? Should I listen to them?" These judgments happen automatically. Most people don't even realize they're making them. The famous first impression research, one of the most well-known psychology studies, came from researchers at Princeton University. Participants were shown photographs of strangers for an incredibly short amount of time, just a tiny glimpse. Despite seeing almost nothing, people consistently agreed on who looked trustworthy, competent, or confident. Even more surprising, giving participants more time didn't completely change those first impressions. The brain had already built a story. Later information often simply reinforced it. This doesn't mean first impressions are always correct. It means our brains are extremely fast at creating them. Why 7 seconds feels so powerful? You may have heard that people judge you in 7 seconds. The exact number isn't a scientific rule. Some judgments begin in fractions of a second. Others continue developing over several seconds as people hear your voice, notice your posture, your facial expressions, your clothes, and the way you interact. Think of the first 7 seconds as your brain collecting enough clues to build a first draft of who someone is. It's not the final chapter, but it becomes the lens through which people interpret everything that follows. The halo effect. Imagine meeting two different people. The first walks confidently, makes eye contact, smiles naturally, speaks clearly. Without realizing it, your brain starts assuming something else. They're probably smart. They must be successful. They seem kind. But how do we know any of that? We don't. This is called the halo effect. One positive quality creates the illusion of many other positive qualities. Companies know this. Politicians know this. Celebrities benefit from this every day. Even teachers and employers can be influenced by it without realizing it. One strong first impression often colors everything else. Your face speaks before you do. Have you ever met someone who looked angry, only to discover they were actually incredibly kind? Or someone who seemed confident, but was secretly nervous? Our faces constantly send signals. Tiny movements around the eyes, the position of our eyebrows, a relaxed smile, tension around the jaw. These small expressions shape how people interpret us before a conversation even begins. The amazing thing is that many of these signals happen without us noticing. That's why emotional awareness matters. People don't just hear your emotions, they see them. Body language is louder than words. Imagine two people saying exactly the same sentence. "Nice to meet you." The first person smiles, stands tall, keeps relaxed shoulders, makes comfortable eye contact. The second person avoids looking at you, crosses their arms, looks distracted. Even though the words are identical, the message feels completely different. Research has consistently shown that body language plays a major role in communication. People naturally pay attention to posture, facial expressions, gestures, and eye contact because these signals often reveal emotions more honestly than words. Your body starts talking long before your mouth does. Why confidence attracts attention. Here's something interesting. Confidence isn't just attractive. It's contagious. When someone appears calm and comfortable, our brains often assume they know what they're doing. That's because confidence reduces uncertainty. People like certainty. Whether it's a teacher, a doctor, a leader, or even a YouTuber, confidence makes people feel safer following someone's ideas. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Confident people don't need to prove they're better. They simply seem comfortable being themselves. The similarity effect. Here's another strange psychological trick. People naturally like people who remind them of themselves. Maybe you both grew up in similar places, share the same hobbies, speak similarly, laugh at the same jokes. Even wearing similar colors or sharing small interests can make someone feel more familiar. And familiar usually feels safer. This is known as the similarity effect. It's one reason friendships often form so quickly. We connect with people who make us feel understood. Your clothes tell a story. Clothing isn't about expensive brands. It's about communication. Imagine a doctor wearing pajamas, or a firefighter wearing a business suit. It would immediately feel strange. Our brains constantly use clothing as information, not because clothes define character, but because they provide clues about context, personality, and attention to detail. That's why dressing appropriately for the situation often creates a stronger first impression than simply wearing expensive clothing. The voice effect. Close your eyes. Imagine hearing two voices. One sounds calm, warm, clear. The other sounds rushed, unsure, nervous. Even without seeing the speaker, you probably formed an opinion. The human voice carries emotion. It communicates confidence, kindness, excitement, and honesty. Sometimes changing your speaking speed, taking small pauses, and speaking clearly has a bigger impact than changing your words. The confirmation trap. Here's where things become fascinating. Once someone forms a first impression, their brain begins searching for evidence that proves it right. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. If someone believes you're confident, they notice confident behaviors. If they think you're shy, they notice quiet moments. The brain loves consistency. It wants its first judgment to be correct. That's why changing someone's first impression can take time. Can first impressions be wrong? Absolutely. History is full of people who were misunderstood. Some famous inventors were dismissed. Successful entrepreneurs were rejected. Great leaders were underestimated. First impressions are fast, not perfect. They're useful shortcuts. But shortcuts sometimes lead us in the wrong direction. The smartest people understand this. They stay curious instead of assuming they already know someone. Can you improve the impression you leave? Yes, and the good news is that it doesn't require pretending to be someone else. Simple habits make a real difference. Smile naturally. Maintain relaxed posture. Listen more than you speak. Use people's names. Make comfortable, not constant eye contact. Speak clearly. Show genuine interest. People remember how you made them feel far more than the exact words you said. Authenticity always lasts longer than acting. The biggest lesson here is the truth. Every single day, people are making quick judgments about you, and you're doing exactly the same thing to them. It's simply how the human brain works. But psychology teaches us something important. Our first impression should be the beginning of understanding, not the end of it. The next time you meet someone, remember that your brain is writing the first page of their story. Don't assume you've already read the entire book, because sometimes the most incredible people make the most ordinary first impression. So, have you ever judged someone too quickly, only to discover you were completely wrong? Or has someone ever judged you before they even knew you? Share your experience in the comments. If you enjoyed learning about the hidden psychology behind everyday life, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because every week, we'll explore fascinating secrets of the human mind one story at a time. And remember, your brain makes first impressions in seconds, but real understanding takes time.